So Allen Robinson appears to be doing quite well in the early stages of training camp here. We are a few days in, and apparently he has stole the spotlight in the early going, as this title says here. Allen Robinson stealing Rams camp spotlight in the early going, which is very interesting. There is a lot of hype around Allen Robinson, and I can't wait to see him in action. I really can't. Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is not a surprise star by any means, having signed a $48 million contract as a player who has totaled at least 1,100 receiving yards 3 different times. There appears to be even more excitement than expected through his first week of Rams training camp. Robert Mays of The Athletic reported on Wednesday that coaches are impressed with Robinson's approach to preparation in the early going, which is good. I'd like to hear that. So this is the tweet from Robert Mays. Main takeaway from 2 days at Rams camp. The staff here is in love with Allen Robinson, from his approach in the meetings to what he can give them in this offense. His route tree and where he can line up are more varied than they'd even hoped. Potential monster year incoming. And I love to hear that. The fact that Allen Robinson appeared, like, if you listen to his interviews, he is he's someone who's very well spoken. He's kind of soft spoken. He speaks intelligently. It's way better than I can. And he appears to be a great student of in the meeting rooms. He's locked in, he's focused, and apparently he's very versatile. He can line up anywhere. I'm assuming that means in the slot or in the outside or wherever they need him, which is awesome to hear. That makes him more valuable, and that just adds another great weapon to our arsenal. I am very, very, very excited to see what Allen Robinson can bring to this team. So, very, very, very encouraging to hear stuff like this. This may seem like a standard boilerplate answer to how a coach would talk about a player. Okay. But not all NFL players think doing homework is important. I have heard, I have not really read into that, but yeah, but I heard about Kyler Murray's, it's something about Kyler Murray having to do homework in his new contract. I haven't read into it yet. I'll read into it soon. Just what the Arizona Cardinals are doing really does not concern me at this point. But I'll be sure to look. They are a division rival, so I am gonna have to take a look at what they're doing. But right now, I'm just not concerned with what they're doing. I'm concerned with what we're doing. But it is kind of funny, considering if Kyler doesn't want to do homework, that's just good for us. See, now Kyler, this means, if this is true, like I said, I haven't read up on it, but Kyler is not a good student, whereas Allen is a good student. That's good for us. But enough on that tangent. We're moving on. Let's see. Robinson is used to being the main target in an offense this season, and he has to adjust being second behind Cup. Yep, which is fine because this is Cup's team. Sean McVay on Allen Robinson's grasp on the offense, quote unquote, he's asking all of the right questions. Okay. Rams coach Sean McVay says Robinson is asking all the right questions so far, showing that Robinson doesn't think he has to stop learning or improving after playing 8 seasons in the league. Robinson has even more to prove after only catching 38 passes for 410 yards and 1 touchdown in 12 games with the Chicago Bears last season. As the only weapon on an offense that could have made any receiver have a career worst campaign, yeah, the Bears just the Bears just they just were struggling a little bit. We've been there. The Rams have been there, trust me. So So trust me, I know how that feels, and I know a lot of you know how that feels too. So Chicago fans just you just gotta power through it until they figure it out. So it sucks, but you just gotta power through it. In an interview with NFL Network's Omar Ruiz, Robinson cited, quote unquote, let me highlight this here, learning the offense and being the best version of myself as his focus through camp right now. Fine tuning my game, figuring how my style of play fits into their offense, knowing where I need to be, matching the lines on paper, and making those things come to life. I love to hear that. Robinson also added that he learned a lot from Cup, and which does not surprise me. Cup is very intelligent, and we all know he is arguably the best receiver. I say he's the best receiver in the league. I'm a little biased, sure, but I think he's the best one. I understand there are other good receivers, but I think Cup's the best, and I will admit I'm a little biased, but I think he is the best. But moving on, adding praise for Robinson to McVay, citing Tutu Atwell as a standout for improvement during the offseason. Okay, okay, well that's good to hear. And this could be the best receiving core that Matthew Stafford has ever had. The Rams could keep 6 receivers, which include Van Jefferson, Ben Schwarnick, and Jacob Harris, but only Cup and Robinson have proven to be viable NFL starters. Jordan Rodriguez here continues with a little tweet. Says among the better plays of the day, Stafford over the top to Robinson, as Robinson cut across the back of the end zone through substantial traffic in a red zone team period. Okay, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Robinson's presence might only increase the odds for them to get there one day since he's been setting such a good example. And all of this is very encouraging. I'm very encouraged to see what kind of production Allen Robinson can provide for us. But the coaches seem to love his what he's been doing. Everyone's talking good about him. Everyone's gushing about him. They're saying he's a great student. They're saying he's working hard. He's preparing accordingly, and he's going out there in the early stages of camp. Yes, it's only the first few days, but he's already making plays. He's catching some touchdown passes. He's making some good plays. He's standing out, and he's in the training camp, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign for us because if Allen Robinson can have that same dependability uh, as Cooper Cup, dude, like we could have like 2 wide receiver 1s on this roster, and I am, dude, I'm like so salivating to see this team play because if we could have, so basically we have Cooper Cup, Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson, we got Jacob Harris, who I think Jacob Harris being switched from tight end to receiver, he's going to surprise a lot of people. He's going to make some noise. Look out for Jacob Harris. So Jacob Harris, Ben Schwarnick, who I hope he's been working on the jugs. He needs to work on his catches. I think he's a good player, but he's got to be able to. He dropped a few footballs, so he's got to kind of work on that. Okay, not throwing shade. I'm just saying, just work on catching the football. And Tutu Atwell, who I want him to succeed. I hope he succeeds. But as you guys know, as I said before, I am not holding my breath on Tutu. But I will say if he proves me wrong, I will admit that. But as it stands right now, I want him to succeed. I'm rooting for him to succeed, but I'm just not holding my breath. And then you have Odell Beckham Jr., who has not been signed yet, but it's looking like unless they have some sort of big argument or something, or they just cannot get over the contract talk, I just don't see that happening. And I see him coming back. He's still recovering from that ACL injury, so he wouldn't even be back till the end of the season anyway. There's no rush for this. And if we have him for the playoffs, like I said, I don't like looking too far ahead, but we're looking pretty stacked at the wide receiver position, and Allen Robinson could quickly emerge as one of the leaders in that room. So, very excited. Very excited to see what he can provide. But that's going to be it for this video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. And as always, go Rams.